Now, to understand how demented this guy really was, Diddy used to have Cassie facilitate sleeping with other guys in front of him all the time. All the time. He's like, hey, you got that set up? So he'd go to a hotel room that she set up with a professional worker who would come there and put it on her in front of Diddy. And Diddy made her do this. And then when she dated another guy, Kid Cudi briefly, Diddy blew up his car. You're all, I thought you like when she sleeps with other guys. He's all, no. I like when I make her sleep with other guys. I don't like when she sleeps with other guys if I'm not forcing her to do it. Now, if you are a co-conspirator of Diddy, you are having a very bad day because guess what we just found out? The feds are planning to reveal his co-conspirators. And I'm going to tell you in this video exactly when they are planning to do that and what I think that is going to mean and who it's probably going to be. Also, we're going to talk about this little number. You guys may have heard that there are some new accusations against this gem Diddy, who's just an overall big benefit to society. You're like, what have you done during your lifetime, Jesse on Fire? I'm like, well, I raised 3 children, or I'm raising 3 children. I try to entertain people, and I generally try to tell the truth and make people laugh. And they're like, Diddy, what have you brought to the world? He's like, I destroyed the lives of most of the people that I interacted with, you know? Now, if they were already in a really powerful position, I usually tried to make friends with them so that I could leverage their power to increase my own. But anybody who was weak and kind of not in a good position, I pretended I was going to help them, and then I destroyed their life, and I took as much as I could from them. Like they were an orange that I was squeezing into a glass that I was going to drink. That's basically how I looked at humanity. So, yeah. In this case, apparently he was raping underage girls in red rooms. So we'll look at that. That's going to be a good one. Here's another one, though. This will give you a little bit more, a little satisfaction after we cover that, which is Diddy's New Year's Eve meal and grim first week of prison menu revealed. And then we got this thing with Jay-Z. He has actually had a major victory in his case, so I'm going to cover that as well. All right. Now go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you have not done that yet. And let me tell you about the sponsor of this video, Prize Picks. Now, if I told you that you could make $50 for free if you take 90 seconds of your time to do something, it's something that you would do, especially if the 90 seconds is going to be something fun. Because that's exactly what Prize Picks and I are offering you right now. I want to be very clear. There is no gimmick here. There's no chance where this does not lead to $50 free for you. There's nothing you have to pick right. There's no game you have to win. If you play a $5 roster on Prize Picks, you will get $50 into your account, whether you win or lose the roster that you entered. How much you can win in addition to the automatic $50 depends on the size of the roster that you pick, but I'll let you play around with that a little bit. Now, you also could try to win real big and play more than $5, but you don't have to. Take a look over here. Look at what I stand to win if I hit this roster. Hold me accountable to this. I'm putting it on my channel. I'm putting my face on it. Hold me accountable, and also hold me accountable to this. This game is super fun. You're going to want to play. As you can see on the left side of the screen, all you do is go through the athletes that you want to pick in a specific sport. In this case, we're doing UFC because my girl Rose Namajunas is fighting on Saturday. In addition to MMA, they have college basketball, college football, NBA, NFL, any sport you could think of, you can play on Prize Picks. Now, in the roster you see over here, this is obviously a UFC roster. I'm playing a $5 game, which means if this was my first game, I would see a free $50 put into my account the second that the game starts. So come join me for Prize Picks. It's an amazing game. You'll be supporting my channel and you'll be getting free money. Also, look at my roster, take a screenshot, and then you can see how I did. And also, I want to know who you guys are picking. Send me your rosters if you want. Link is in the description. Use promo code JesseOnFire for the $50 bonus. And that is what it is. All right, so let's start right here with the co-conspirators potentially being, well, not potentially, they're going to get revealed, and when and how and so on and so forth. All right, so federal prosecutors are planning to reveal co-conspirators in Sean Diddy Combs' racketeering case this March. LeBron James is all, whoa, what do you think he means by co-conspirators? They're like, you. They mean you, LeBron. But I never procured any narcotics or any, professional escorts or any of that. Like, did you ever slide yourself inside anyone on videotape? He's like, well, only people who wanted it. It's like, well, I guess you're just going to have to go like this until March because you might be on the tape. And, J-Lo's all, I wouldn't be a co-conspirator, right? Like, I was a victim. Hello, attorney, I was a victim. All right, I mean, were you though? Yes. Yes. Haven't you seen the videos? He's like, not yet, but I would love to see them. Anyway, federal prosecutors are preparing to name alleged co-conspirators in a sweeping racketeering case against Sean Diddy Combs related to charges that link the disgraced hip-hop mogul to an alleged criminal enterprise. Sounds like a mafia case. Now, you guys may remember that the Diddy drug mule, the kid who went to Syracuse and looked like there's only one way for him to make it into Diddy's crew, and it's through same way that girls become, Crips. Oh man, that's a terrible joke, but probably true, Anyway, but so like that guy who got popped at the airport with a bunch of drugs had his charges dropped, and anybody in law enforcement that knows anything had been telling me he's gonna flip in 1 second. So when he got his charges dropped, obviously that verifies that he is almost 1,000% definitely going to be testifying against Diddy. And given that he had a responsibility that involved procuring narcotics, procuring escorts, and then, facilitating all of this illegal activity, that's a criminal enterprise. It's unfortunate because I don't know, like that in particular doesn't necessarily seem like something that I would consider to be mafia tactics. However, when you get to the stuff about Diddy selling people, as we're going to talk about later, like reports are coming out of Diddy selling people, that is the kind of criminal enterprise that I hear and go, oh, okay, so you're going down. Like you're going down. If you've ever sold a person, that's a completely different level of criminal activity. If you've ever sold a person to another person, that's I think they have a word for that. And I think it would be a word that Diddy had used in, dishonestly all the time. We haven't advanced one bit since slavery. And you're a billionaire. He's all, what? You're a billionaire. He's like, but I'm black. You're all, right. You're a black billionaire. And you think you haven't advanced anywhere since slavery? Like, what are you talking about? He's like, well, listen, man, all I'm hearing right now is a bunch of anti-black rhetoric. I was saying pro-black rhetoric. Like, you're amazing. You're a billionaire. He's like, well, I sell people. I'm like, I retract what I said. You are not amazing. You are the devil. And I don't think you're allowed to talk about that particular topic anymore since you are on the other side of that conversation. You sell people. You're a person salesman. Okay? I don't care if you're black. That doesn't make that any less ethical or any more ethical. Anyway, and you do it with children. Okay? Anyway, the Enterprise letter will lay out this. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. I got to read this. So all hip hop has confirmed the U.S. government plans to reveal the names of individuals who supposedly worked alongside Diddy in illicit activities by March 7th, 2025 through a highly anticipated Enterprise letter. The Enterprise letter will lay out the specifics of the alleged criminal acts, including dates, locations, and participants. Diddy has been indicted for crimes that range from racketeering, conspiracy, to sex trafficking, to arson over the destruction of a car belonging to Kid Cudi. The arson incident reportedly occurred in early 2012 when co-conspirators allegedly targeted Kid Cudi's vehicle by slashing its convertible top and hurling a Molotov cocktail inside. So, as you guys are probably aware by this point, or maybe not, it's because Cassie, the original, I guess, genesis of this entire thing, Diddy's girlfriend, had briefly left Diddy and then dated Kid Cudi. And so Diddy was all, I'm sorry, listen, I know this doesn't make sense because I definitely enjoy watching you sleep with other men. But if you sleep with other men and I'm not in control and I'm not there watching, then I will blow up their car. You're all, I thought you like her sleeping with other men. He's all, I like her having to sleep with other men when I make her. I don't like her sleeping with other men. Don't you get it? And you're like, not really. I mean, I guess, I guess I get it, but it sounds pretty twisted. You know what I mean? Let's go ahead and continue this amazing story about just this benevolent guy, Diddy. So this episode is just one layer of the allegations against Diddy, who has been locked up without bond since September of 2024. Federal authorities accuse him of leading a broader criminal organization that engaged in activities including kidnapping, intimidation, and sexual exploitation. Now, let's go ahead. Oh, wow. In one chilling charge, Combs and his associates allegedly held a person at gunpoint in 2011 to orchestrate a burglary. I hadn't heard that yet. Uh-oh. So kidnapping and apparently something with him holding people at gunpoint. That is a very, very big deal. You get a lot of time for that. Defense attorney for Combs has vehemently denied the allegations, arguing that the charges lack substantive evidence directly implicating their client. All this talk of dozens of victims and 50 witnesses, if they really had that, it would be in the indictment. I mean, that's true, probably. But they're going to release all of that information on February. The Diddy's attorneys are asking for a February 1st deadline. Now, the trial date is May 5th. So that is all coming. Now, you saw, if you were looking closely, a trailer for the new documentary that's dropping, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about that right now. So there are fresh claims that emerge in the new Diddy documentary that's dropping on Peacock about how Sean Diddy Combs graped underage girls in so-called red rooms of sin. So, yeah. Sean Diddy Combs is accused of graping underage girls in an explosive new documentary. In the doc, Diddy's childhood friends, ex-bodyguards, former interns, and singer Al Beecher expose new details surrounding the disgraced rapper and his deepest, darkest secrets. I can't even imagine what that guy's deepest, darkest secrets are. Probably, think about like if you just had some kind of crystal ball, it's like, what's the worst thing Diddy's ever done? You know, like the worst. I'm not sure if I would even want to watch, man. It was probably so twisted. And speaking of which, you guys may have seen a cut a second ago. That's because Gabrielle just sent something to me about a crime that happened in our neighborhood that is going to melt your brain. I am going to derail this conversation right after this article and tell you what just happened because it has to do with my family, my daughter, my wife, okay? And a predator, okay? This is insane. Her and I are going to go live on our channel to talk about this in a second, but we're going to talk about that very shortly, okay? So, a man whose voice was distorted to conceal his identity claimed at any time in a studio or any room is red, he's making love and sex. Some of the girls who were in the room, for sure, they were underage. In the doc, an unidentified woman's voice is heard alleging they said they could ship me off and sell me to anyone. You know, like I said, you know, I mean, are you on this side of the fence or this side of the fence? Okay. Actually, there's three fences. On this side of the fence, you've neither bought nor sold a human, right? I am a happy member of that group. If you're on this side of the fence, you've bought a human. Okay. Generally speaking, probably some of the worst people. If you're on this side of the fence and you've both bought and sold a human, that's probably the dual fecta that makes you the worst people on earth. And I would imagine that Diddy is probably in that, you know, category. He's like, what's the worst things that you can do? You're all, I don't know, probably buy and sell children. He's like, check, check, please. Love it. So according to a press release from Peacock, the documentary tells the story of Combs' early years and his decades-long transformation to Puffy and then Diddy, with crucial insights into the forces that shaped the man. I don't think you're going to be able to, you know, I really don't think that you are going to be able to understand what shapes a person like Diddy, you know. Just going to go out on a limb and say that, you know. How does a person become a serial rapist and a person who takes advantage of every single person that they interact with for a 35-year period, and probably before that, before he was in the public eye? It's like, well, people were mean to him in high school. It's like, no. They're all, his dad beat him up. You're all, no, not that. Well, his mom's not really his mom, and they used to have intercourse. You're all, jackpot. You know, that certainly would explain a lot of his behavior. Anyway, so I would like to tell you guys now about a little tidbit of information that happened just now in our neighborhood. Okay, so here's a backstory really quick. So Gabrielle, of all the people I've ever met in my entire life, okay, my wife, I realize this is not, well, you guys, this is my main channel, so you might not know about this, but I have another channel called Play with Matches. The link is in the description. Okay. And my wife is the one who does it with me. And of all of the people I've ever met, she is the most likely to give people the benefit of the doubt. Okay. Like I'm talking, she always gives people the benefit of the doubt. Like someone will do something and I'll be like, wow, I got a piece of, she's like, well, yada, 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 she's probably gotten a little more jaded being married to me for, we've been together 18 fucking years, her entire adult life we've been together. But I bought her. I'm just kidding. But as soon as we've been together basically since when she graduated college. But nonetheless, right, she has a very good heart. She gives people the benefit of the doubt. So she says, like, that is a creep. You bet your life that she's right, because she never says that about people. So my daughter Giselle was at a middle school. She's at a different middle school now. She went to one school in 6th grade and now goes to a different school in 7th grade. But while she was in 6th grade, she had this teacher who she was like, he's my favorite. And we're like, okay, anytime she says anything about a male teacher, my male teacher's my favorite. I'm like, tell me about him, because I assume the worst out of everyone. So she, he's blah, blah, blah. He coaches football. He does blah, 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 whatever. He's so cool. So later, I don't know how long, some time passes. Gabrielle goes to pick up Giselle from school. Okay. And Giselle was a 6th grader. Okay. She's like 11 or something. And maybe, I think she's 12 now. Yeah. She was 11. So this same teacher walked her to the office because my wife is there to pick her up. So my wife is like, it's weird in and of itself. I picked her up all the time. There's never been a teacher that walks her to the office, that's just not a thing that's ever happened. And it was pretty weird because it was this guy. I knew who he was, but I'd never really put eyes on him. She's like, I got a really bad vibe from him. I'm like, tell me about it. She's like, well, when Giselle walked between him and me, I caught him give her this look. And I'm like, what do you mean look? And she's like, he looked her up and down. And I was like, looked her up and down. He's like, looked. Yeah. She's like, yeah. Like he gave her a look the way that, and listen, not to give myself a hand job, but my wife is an absolute smoke. She's a hard 10. And the only reason that I bring that up is because those kinds of girls, they know that look really well. You know what I mean? Like, you have any idea how many times she's been looked at like that since she was 13, 14 years old? Yeah. So this is her. This is our other channel, Play with Matches. But this is her. So we got sidetracked. Gabrielle, continue talking about the atrazine. So the health effects on the human body: thyroid cancer, reproductive harm. Anyway, you get the point. Okay. She knows that look from a man. And so she's like, you get the implication, right? So soon after that, the kids had some kind of performance. It was at a mall or whatever. And it was it was all girls. It's all girls at this Christmas performance. There was a 6th grader, 7th grader, 8th graders. And the guy was there. He's like a gym teacher or something. I'm like, what is this dude doing here? She's like, told you. And I was watching him and he didn't have a daughter there, nothing. He didn't have a kid there. It was it's kind of weird that he's here. He's at the mall, he had nothing to do with this program. He just showed up. So she texted me while I was filming and I looked, this dude just got arrested. And I don't know if I should say anything, but he has been arrested now for terrorist threat of his family and household. He assaulted someone in his family, bodily injury on a family member. And she's like, I fucking told you. And I was like, good job. She sniffed him out. Listen, this is not a crime against a kid, at least in this charge. However, if I remember correctly, I think it's all, I don't want to say anything else about it, but she was right. She called it. She's like, he's a fucking creep. And now terrorist threat against his own family and a bodily injury on someone in his own family. And he looked my little daughter up and down. So we switched schools, and that's good, because if after that happened, just for the record, it's like, well, what do you do? I'll tell you exactly what I did. I made sure he met me very soon after that. We went to the school, and then I introduced myself. It's like these kinds of creep predators, right? They're looking for kids who don't have connections to people who, are probably keeping a good eye on them. And so I just made sure that I met him and I shook him, and he like, it was really bizarre. He wouldn't look at me. Like he was just kind of like, hi, everybody looks at you, you know, like teachers at the school, he wouldn't look at me, but he I'm sure saw enough to where he's like, this guy will kill me. It's like, that's correct. Without any doubt. Go ahead and act on that and see how that goes, dude. But anyway, just a weird side story. Literally, I just found this out while I was recording this. She was right again. She's the best. Anyway, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell. Love you guys. Bye-bye.